Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a little treat box for spring. Unfortunately, I did not get my Stampin Up goodies. I paid the extra for the 3-day shipping, but it goes in the order in which you order when they pick it. So it took till Thursday to ship. So I didn't get up early at 5 o'clock to order like some people did, so I was low on the list. So hopefully FedEx is supposed to get it to me tomorrow before 12:30, so I should be able to do a project for Wednesday. All right, so this box here, I had Mother's Day in mind. It measures 2 1/4 by 3 1/2 by 1/2, and it opens like this. And inside I have a gift card and a Hershey milk chocolate. But you could fit anything in there that's under 1/2 inch and probably a Reese's peanut butter cup. And it can be 2 1/4 inches wide also. All right. So now if you don't want to do the ribbon thing, you could just tie a ribbon and attach it up here and put a Velcro dot on the back. But I think that the ribbon around it looked really cute. Okay, so I used the Petal Park bundle, which is the Petal Park stamp set and the Petal Park Builder Punch, it's called. For the I Love You sentiment, I used the Country Bouquet stamp set, which is returning. This is also returning in the annual catalog. I used polished pink ink, which is retiring. Pear Pizzazz leaves, that cardstock's retiring, and the Melon Mambo cardstock's retiring also. So I'm using a whole bunch of things that you might have still in your stash. This is my host code, so if you're going to spend anything on my website, please put that in on anything under $150. All right, and just make sure that when you are buying, you want to buy as me as your demonstrator, that you use the link to my shop, because if you use a link to somebody else's shop, it'll go under them. And I had somebody that really worked hard for me, thank you very much, to get it switched, because she did use this code, but so I think that's why they let her. Okay, so what we need for this project is some basic white for stamping. We need a piece of Melon Mambo that is 9 1/4 by 3 1/4. 2 pieces of the Regency Park DSP that are 2 by 3 1/4. 2 pieces that are 2 by 1. And we also need a scrap of Pear Pizzazz cardstock for the leaves. All right. I also use the very best trio punch for the edge of the top flap. Alright, so let me get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 9 1/4 inch side. And we're going to score at 1 1/4, 1 3/4, 5 1/4, and 5 3/4. And we're going to turn it a quarter turn to the 3 1/4 inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2 and at 2 3/4. All right. Now I'm going to fold and burnish all of the score lines. So how we have this is there are 2 skinny rectangles on the top and the bottom, and there is a 1 1/4 inch strip on this side here. All right, and this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, we're going to start cutting with your skinny rectangles on the left and the right. All right, and we're going to start on the left hand side. We're going to go to the first score line and cut it to the second score line. Take off that bottom rectangle and wedge each side of this little square that's up there. Okay, now go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line. We're going to take off that lower rectangle and wedge each side of this square. Now we're going to turn it so that that flap is on the right. We're going to start over here. We're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the next score line, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, now we're just going to flip it so the flap's over here on the left. And we're going to go, this is the first score line here. So we're going to go from the first to the second score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, now we're going to get the very best trio punch. All right, and we're going to cut. Now how we're going to have it is the dash is going to be at the top, and we have our rectangle, triangle over there. All right, and we're going to put in that flap piece, and then we're going to flip it around and do the other side of the flap piece, and there's our top. All right, and now I'm just going to put on my two larger pieces of DSP because we have to cut a little finger grip, and we have to do that before we put the box together. So these two pieces are 2 by 3 1/4, and they're going to go here and here. Okay, and liquid glue is going to be what I put them on with. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a small circle punch. This one is a 7/8, and I'm just going to take a partial circle right out of the middle. And this one I forgot, and it was too small to get in, but it makes grabbing the things on the inside a little bit easier. All right, now what we want to do, the flap is going to be in the front. Okay, so we want to take these little tabs. Now you can just bend them in and not bother with them, but sometimes they'll get caught on whatever it is you put in. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue on them, and I'm going to attach them to the side that has the flap. Just make sure that the side of the rectangle matches up with the score line on the tab. It's a little bit small, so if you really don't want to, you don't have to do this. Okay, and then we're going to put glue on this side that has the circle piece taken out, and we're going to put glue on both these side pieces, and then we're going to match them up to the side pieces on the piece that has the flap. So we're just going to fold it together and make sure that your bottom and your back meets up. I think this would be perfect for Mother's Day if you're getting your mom a gift card or someone else a gift card for Mother's Day. It's in there just lovely. Okay, so now we need our two pieces that are 2 by 1, and we're going to use our very best trio punch. Okay, so we're going to do both the sides of one of the long sides. So we're just going to stick it in there, make sure that it goes in there straight, and it's up against the top and the side. Okay, then I'm just going to flip it over and do the other side. There we go. And we're going to do that twice. I didn't get a chance because I had already sealed this, but I'm going to put one on the inside flap also. So we're going to do one side, make sure it's up against the side and the top, then flip it over and do the other side. Okay, and that's our two pieces. All right, and I'm just going to put them on the flap and inside the flap. Okay, now we're going to take our glittered organdy ribbon, and I'm going to put it around the whole box. Now you can use this slit here and make it there and stick the ribbon through it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tie a bow, and I want it to come to about the middle of this flap. Okay, and I'm just going to snip off the edges. All right, now let's get our basic white, and I'm going to use the two-step this and this. First we'll do the outlines, then we'll do the inner. And I'm going to use polished pink for both. So I'm going to do the outline in full strength polished pink. And then I'm going to get a piece of scrap, and I'm going to stamp it off. And then do it right over. All right, so now let me just close this. Okay, and then we're going to do the I Love You in Tuxedo Black. And that we just cut out by hand. So just make sure there's a little room after the words and a little bit before to flag. Okay, now with my Petal Park Builder Punch, I'm going to cut the flowers out. Okay, so there's my flowers. And with my piece of Pear Pizzazz, I'm going to cut out 5 leaves. Okay, so now I'm going to get my Stampin Pierce Mat, which I'm not sure if this went through. I don't think it may have, but any kind of mat you have, and I'm going to use the cap from the sticky side of the Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to push in the middle of each flower. Okay, and then for the leaves, I'm just going to grip the bottom and just curl the top a little bit. And that just gives them a little bit of dimension. Okay. Now we're going to bring in our box. And first I'm going to put down the flowers, and don't be afraid to glue them to the ribbon. It's fine. All right, I'm just going to put some glue on that circle, maybe a little around it. And I'm going to put them down. They take a little while to, you have to hold them a couple, like probably 20 seconds. Okay, now the next one. I'm going to put this one over here, and then the small one up over here. All right, and then I'm going to stick in my leaves and put 2 here. I'm going to glue them, but I'm just showing you where they're going. So I'm going to put 2 here, kind of actually on this big flower on the top. 1 on the other side of the big flower. And 2 up here on this medium flower. Okay? And I'm going to put them on with liquid glue. And then I'm going to cut. First I'll just cut it bigger. Alright, and then I'm going to leave a little bit at each end. And then just cut it straight on the top and bottom. Alright, so this after the word I'm going to leave alone. And then in front of it I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to flag it. So you put 1 down the middle. And then each side you cut till you reach that middle point on a slant. Okay, and I'm just going to curl it a little bit and then put my fingernail right after the words and push that back a little bit. Alright, and I'm going to put glue on that. And actually, I'm going to put a mini dimensional in the middle here. And, oops, I'm just going to stick it underneath the leaf and the flowers. so kind of you can't see it, and then push down on the dimensional. Okay, and for the final touch, I'm going to get some of the Milky Dots, which are retired, but you could use any of the rhinestone basic jewels or iridescent jewels. And I'm going to get my take your pick tool, and I'm going to put large ones in the middle of the large and the medium flowers, because they're the Mango Melody ones are on the bottom, and it matches the cardstock and the paper. And then a little one in the middle of the little flower. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, my email is below, along with the links to my blog, which has all the measurements and directions, and also a link to my shop. Alrighty, I hope you had a great holiday weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.